Hope you had a nice 3-day weekend. It doesn't sort of apply to us. So what that actually means is we've got sort of an extra day, half of a day at least, because we actually meet 4 times. That's in our 2 times is counts as each time we meet is counts as two. That's 2 days. So we have all the full week actually to finish things up, and we don't have any new material to take a look at. So I'm going to show you some resources I have, but I thought I'd first open it up. Are there any questions, burning questions you have about the course, what's happening this week, or no questions yet? Okay, if it comes up, just go ahead and ask. So this is, we're in review mode. Let me go to the test first. So Thursday, we will have the exam. It will be 15 questions, 5 questions from each of the chapters, 1, 2, and 3. You get a page of notes, which we'll discuss in a little bit more detail here. And what we will do is I will make sort of 2 versions of the test. And the first half of the class on Thursday, we will take the practice version. And about 30, 45 minutes, I'll show the answers. We can discuss it, answer questions, whatever we need to do. And then for the second half, we'll do version B, which is going to be very similar. But by that time, you will know what's going to be on the test. You'll know what maybe you need to update on your notes. And so it's basically 2 opportunities to take it. If you do well on the practice, you will also do well on the actual test. So, and you'll probably get through it pretty quickly. If you struggle on the practice, hopefully you get the questions answered and you get it onto your note sheets before you take the actual test. Okay, so that's my goal, is that everyone does well on it. So as a way of reviewing, actually the other thing I found out, I didn't know if just to leave it, but I didn't have the textbook in here. I thought it was embedded in the lectures and notes, but it wasn't. So what you'll see is under each of the chapters, there's now a PDF file called Chapter 1 textbook, or Chapter 2 textbook, Chapter 3 textbook, which is the actual textbook that I thought was embedded in the instruction materials, but took a deeper look. So let me open up this. I think it'll actually downloads it, or it opens it here. I'm going to look at the downloaded version. So I'll open that up. And what I would suggest doing at this point, because today is going to be more self-directed, is to take a look at each of the chapters in what you've been doing. Incidentally, you can also work on homework for chapter 1, 2, and 3. Those will be good to finish up if you haven't, get questions answered. But this is a good way to review. What I did is I came in here and sort of the highlighted things, population, sample, I would copy. So I would highlight it, and I do a Control or Command C, which copies it, and then I would paste it into a Word document, which I've shared with you. Let's come down here to the exam review. So I have a note sheet for chapters 1 to 3 exam. Open this up. It's a Word document. Got some instructions here, but basically it says you get an 8.5 by 11, a regular size sheet of paper, front and back, for your notes. One way is you can copy and paste and just print it out if you want, or you can handwrite it, however you want to do it. And this is just a starter. It's actually only got chapter 1 in it because I started it off. Let's see if I click on this. I think it'll just show what's in here. So I've given you sort of a start for chapter 1. So I just copied and pasted those things because most of chapter 1 was just about definitions, right? It's got the measurement scales, nominal, ordinal, interval. These are all the types of things there could be questions. The methods for sampling. Again, from the homework, there were questions that dealt with types of sampling, study design, observational versus experiment, and I just copied from the textbook. Now, what I would encourage you to do is go back and make sure that those things from the textbook make sense. If not, edit them, because that's where you can do the copy and paste, put it into Word, edit it so it makes sense to you. And the best way to test if it makes sense is if you go back through the homework, can I answer the question from my notes on here? And I put a little bit of space. Again, you see this chapter 1's taking up, I finished here down with bias, took up most of the page. You could do smaller font if you want. You could, because then you'll get the other side for chapters 2 and 3, or if you handwrite it, or you might not need everything. You might say, oh, census, I remember what a census is. I don't need that. I remember this, I don't need that. Or I could shorten it. Okay, so that's the idea. So this is just sort of a sample to get you started. At the minimum, at least print this out and use, because I've got people who show up without a page of notes. And then they'll, especially on the vocabulary, there's no reason, you should have some notes for that, because things that are going to address the vocabulary part of it, it's too easy, why not? You have that resource. Okay, so at a minimum, just print this out and use that for your notes. And then, but again, and if you've already started some, that's great. But this is just a sample. Okay, download it, edit it, make it your own, or just start from scratch on your own. But my encouragement is, now that we're where we're at, most of the stuff in the text, the PDFs, well, all of it was in the lecture notes already, the important stuff at least. But I would go back, and when you go into the textbook, the nice part about it is they also, in the textbook, they have a lot more examples, written examples. So take a look at them, see if they make sense to you. Chapter 2, Chapter 3. So Chapter 1 was mostly introduction to statistics, sampling, types of experiments or studies, observational versus experiment. Chapter 2, what was Chapter 2? I'm forgetting. Waiting for it to load. What was in Chapter 2? Anyone remember? Thank you. Yeah, I knew those. So frequency charts and histograms, some graphs on pie charts, those kind of things. Thank you. I was already just thinking of Chapter 3. So those frequency grams. So there'll be, again, 5 questions that deal with them, just sort of know how to set them up. How do we get, and look at the homework, look at the practice tests and such. So you won't have to create a graph, but we will, you may have to use one. So I may give you something like this, have you use the NumWorks calculator. You'll get a frequency, and then I could ask some questions about it. But again, also you'll get to use the NumWorks calculator. Now, how are we going to do that? So you should have the NumWorks calculator downloaded to your phone, and it's accessible from your computer as well. So we will figure out how we'll do it. A little bit of trust is involved, because when you have internet capable devices, if you're using a phone, you have to use it only for calculator. But I've used it in other classes, and we did okay. So drawing bar graphs, and then Chapter 3 was on mean, median, mode. The center, the spread is the one we've done most recently, standard deviations. And again, sometimes you may be asked to calculate them. Remember, we're expecting you to go into the NumWorks calculator, or if you want, if you're comfortable using a TI-84 calculator, you're welcome to use that. If you've got one that you're welcome to do that. But using the calculator to get those values for mean, median, mode, standard deviation, range, 5-number summary, all of those. And one of the best ways to sort of check it out is in this review, we've got practice exams and solutions. So this is the PDF of Chapter 1 practice test. And again, you can screen it, and I would work through here. This is a practice test I used. Again, some of it's multiple choice, some of it's fill in the blanks. But if you're able to answer these types of questions, you'll be able to answer the types of questions that'll be on the test as well. So there's this. There is a video that walks you through each one. So if you get stuck on one, you could watch, the video explanation. There's one for chapters 2 and 3. And again, it's a 10-question test. So, probably five from each of the chapters. You could go through here and take a look at those. And I'll be looking at them as I write 2 versions of a new test sometime by tomorrow. And then again, in class, we will do an in-class practice test where, it's a practice test, so you can work through it. You can ask questions while you're taking it if you need to, but it'll also give you an idea of the types of things you'll need to know for that test. And then right afterwards, we will take the actual test, which will be very similar. So the goal is that you get all the questions answered first, and then when it counts, you're just fine. Okay. Any questions or anything I'm leaving out? All right. Very good. I think that's all I got then. So resources, you've got the time period, the till 11, to work on those. Watch the videos. This. We're here. We got both myself and Lizeth. Did I get that right? Lizeth? Okay, yes. She's here. She's great at tutoring. So any questions, we'll help you with it. Again, chapter 1, 2, 3 homework. That should be done before the test because those are going to be the types, that's where the learning occurs. The homework quizzes, I'm not so worried about, but again, those are shorter and a good way to remember, see if you remember things. And then work on that note sheet. Anything that you're struggling with and have to go look up, that should be on your note sheet because then it's there for when you need it. Examples can be on there, whatever you need. And things you don't need to look up, they don't need to be on the note sheet. So that gives you that space to do what you need. You can color code. You can, I've seen some that are, written real small, but they've got highlighted colors and it's great, so that's it. So I'll let you get to work. I think, I'm recording, so I'll stop the recording so that anyone who wasn't here knows sort of the instructions, what to be doing today and tomorrow. And then Thursday when we come in, we'll just get started right away with the practice test followed by the actual test. All right. You are